Georgia Tech took them out in Boulder in a rainy game Friday night. Haynes King actually outrushed Colorado's entire team, 156 to 141. Colorado ran the ball 29 times, 13 of those rushes went to the QB. So
I'm saying a bunch of them were fucking scrambles. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yep. So just I guess what was your overall take on just how Colorado played, the loss? Let's go from there.
I thought CU played not to lose, they didn't play to win. I'm saying that in the first half they had the ball 4th and 1, 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 3 different drives at the 50 and didn't go for it and punted instead of going that. You go for that in college football, especially with the running quarterback and the biggest offensive line in the Big 12 and all this like offseason talk about how physical they are and they're changing and yada, yada, yada. They had a back at 11 carries for, 7, almost 6 yards a carry, and why he didn't have 30 carries, I'll never know. I don't know. I think Colorado has an identity problem that they can't seem to figure out who they are. Like, if you're going to run that offense, I need Juju to play. Period. If you're going to run, they should be running the same offense that Georgia Tech just ran out there. That's what Salter should be doing. 20 carries rushing, 14 throws. I don't really care what you do. Just be efficient in the red zone as a passer. Hit your play action looks. Don't turn the ball over. I mean, they had 3 turnovers in the first quarter. They only got 7 points off of it. 2 of them were gifts. 1 of them was a takeaway. Now, a lot of this can be misconstrued as hate. I'm not hating on anyone. I know what I watched. You guys watched. We're 3 years into this. Yeah, everybody needs to stop with the sensitivity part of it. It makes Colorado look weak as hell because the fan base can't be criticized like we're special or something. We're the only team that can't be constructively criticized and coached. The offensive coordinator, the head man, everybody's got to come together. Marshall Faulk, Andre Gerard, all these big names and all this experience have got to stop with this, everybody looking at each other rather than somebody making a decision. Like at the end of the game, you have 2 timeouts left. When that negative play starts the drive, he gets tackled for a 3-yard loss on whatever play that was. There was a swing pass to Taylor right there. I'm calling a timeout immediately to stop the bleeding. Period. We have to. Or spike it, do something, but I'd rather have just keep the timeout and keep your down and move forward, not get a 9-yard play and just let it keep running. And then also, I understand it's on Coach Prime to call it. Why isn't somebody running up to Prime asking him why he's not calling the timeout? Why is somebody not on the headset screaming, call timeout, 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 timeout?
They're scared.
Because they're scared. Or I'm not really sure. I don't have an explanation for it. And I guarantee you, I'm going to say this and right before we continue this, I'm really sorry that I'm criticizing CU. I know the prime sexuals and everybody are going to get really, really upset about this. And in Boulder, they'll probably get mad at me because I have an opinion on this. And I think I'm right. Chad Brown yesterday on my show, 0 to 60, said the same thing. This is a clock management problem. Last year against North Dakota State, we were up throwing the ball deep with Shador at the end of the game. Remember that? So this is something that's happened in the past. And now I'm not saying they would have won, but damn, man, with 1 minute and 3 left and 2 timeouts, I feel pretty good about going to have a chance to put it in the zone, but not if we operate like that. So,
man,
the explanation for it at the end, bro. Let's be real. The explanation at the end, like when he is saying we got out of bounds, but you didn't get you didn't get out of bounds.
Let's play that real quick just for our fans so they can hear.
Just listen to this.
Looking at that last drive specifically, having 2 timeouts left, what was your thought process with Coach Pat Shermer, and how do you guys come up with your management for that situation?
I think we got out of bounds a couple times.
But you didn't.
So
But you didn't get out of bounds, bro. You didn't until 3rd down
on both sidelines.
You didn't get out of bounds on both sidelines.
After the first. I think we got a good.
Yeah, you can't think you get out of bounds when
you can't think that's not what happened.
Yeah.
So that's my first concern, and then listen to the end of this. This is also something that's very concerning.
Play, and we caught the ball, I think, for 9 yards. We got 1 yard to go. So if you get the first down, the clock stops. So it
Yeah,
don't
but
make sense to really use your timeout in that sense.
Well,
So
you didn't
we
get
were
the
just
first
really
down,
trying
and
to
now it's
preserve
third
them
down
till
and
we
clock's
certainly
running.
needed them. So, I mean, I don't want to go home with timeouts. They don't do me no good, but you got to be strategic as
What?
well. Just
Listen.
burning timeouts just to burn them just so you guys won't say nothing. That don't make sense.
Timeout. Now, the end of that is extremely concerning to me. Listen, he's talking about the media's reaction to keeping the timeouts. That doesn't, I'm not just, whatever he said, I'm not going to just hold on to him to appease y'all because you guys might say something. I'm telling you, the sensitivity to what people say and how they're broken down and the criticism of professionals. I'm just a guy, but I think I know what I'm talking about. I'm qualified enough to talk about these things. JB's qualified enough to talk about them. Schmitty's qualified enough to talk about them. There's several people that are qualified enough. It seems to me like there's such a sensitivity towards criticism in Boulder that it's in the head of the head man, a guy who manipulates the media like a fiddle. And like, he is one of the kings of all time football at fucking with people mentally and making them feel uncomfortable and make mistakes. And now he's the one making the mistake in crunch time, and it's affecting him mentally. I'm very concerned about this. That's and I don't think I'm wrong to bring it up. I just don't.
Here's the issue I have as a former coach. All my meat and potatoes, nuts and bolts. What I mean is this: you guys both know we do all the scenario work in the middle of the spring. Like, practice 5 to 15. If you're at a D1, you get 15 practices. In JUCO, I get 20 padded practices in spring. I probably only use 16, 17 at max. And I tried to mimic D1 so my kids can go and understand they get 15 at the next level. So I didn't really go past 15 in JUCO, even though I was allowed 20. I worked all these scenarios, not only with my staff, but with my players, right? Now it's a double-edged situation. Now it's double the task, because now, in this regard, I'm talking about in Colorado.
Yeah.
You get new players every quarter or semester, number one. You're losing players every quarter or semester. There is no more camaraderie, no development. There's no more culture being developed. And then in this instance, with a guy who's had some health issues who wasn't there, I'm looking at these scenarios in that game, and that is clearly a big time. We looked over that.
That's a good point.
You're missing the fact that there's a lot of scenarios there that you don't know what's happening because you had your assistants basically running the day-to-day. It's never the same. I'm just going to be honest. You cannot mimic me. You cannot
all that said, everything we're bringing up, I did think that they played their asses off. They did. They had an opportunity to beat a team that I think is pretty tough and obviously takes advantage of people's mistakes. And like, yes, did they get hammered in the run game? Did they do some things that I'm not really that jazzed up about? Yeah, but they had a chance to win the game at the end and just didn't take advantage of them, and Georgia Tech did. If they continue to build off of this and they really, I just need them to really commit to the run game. Georgia Tech's committed to their game plan and run game. Colorado says they are, but I think that they could have had 300 yards rushing if they actually give the pill to the back 25 times. He averaged 6 yards a carry on 11 carries. Salter had 13 carries, but a bunch of them are just scrambles. So they've got to be more deliberate in the quarterback run game, putting 11 on 11 and really getting vertical rather. JB, maybe you can help me with this, but what's the fascination with college football and this lateral bullshit? I understand a couple of slip screens every now and then.
It's all for RPO.
Oh my God!
I'll break it down in a second. I'll break that down with you. I'll break that down with you before you leave, but I got to break this down even furthermore. What is the purpose? And I'm going to take some heat, but I know Marshall personally. I've had him on the show. I got his cell phone. I know a lot of those coaches over there as well. Andre Hart and all these guys I've been knowing for a long, long time. What is the purpose on having a guy like a Warren Sapp, a Byron Leftwich, a Marshall Falk, if all they do is walk on the sideline for the camera's purposes to show how famous they are? If Marshall Falk is not running down the sideline, and I'll text him myself and saying, or worried about a sub or worried about a back's ball security and we fumble the ball, he's not really just over there. I didn't see a lot of coaching, homie. I saw a lot of watching. And you cannot watch this game as a coach. You have to coach the game. We don't watch the game. We coach it. So, like, I don't know if having a famous staff helps you. Obviously, it didn't in game one, but it is game one. But it is year 3. See, that's the point I have. This is the year that the maturation process has to occur. Is when he took that job, he said, hey, I got a 3-year plan, just like we all do. Deion said it. I got a 3-year plan here to get to the fucking next level. If this is your plan and you got to be, this is the team, this is the time we see teams take off and rebuild and start winning. I get it, Matt. I get it, Smitty. It's a harder level to do it at now because of the portal and the NIL. But at the same time, no one cares. There's no excuses anymore at this level. You're Deion Sanders. You can bring the guys in. You got the face.
Never excuses. Exactly. Real quick.
Well, I will say this. I think they're going to be 3-1 when they host BYU Saturday night, and they're at 8:30 in a month or whatever it is. And that's going to be the game that either takes them here or flatlines them. And then they've got to really pull out of that hole.
Every year,
so look, they got Delaware. You can't struggle against Delaware, bro. It can't be like a let's go make sure that our quarterback gets his numbers and our receivers eat. This needs to be like a 60 carry fucking slugfest where you just show your team, show your offensive line, prove to Jordan Seaton and Hill and all these big eaters you got up front that you're going to like lean on them and you value them, because they've been talking this game all offseason about running the ball. Go do that against Delaware. If you don't do it against Houston, Houston will embarrass you on the road. That is not a bad football team. They got a lot better. And their coach is a hard ass, and he knows what he's doing. That's going to be a huge game for them. You got to go on the road to Houston and get that win, and then you mop up Wyoming when you come back, and it puts you in a great position to put the Georgia Tech game behind you. You're 3-1. You're on a 3-game winning streak, and you got BYU coming in, a team that beat the shit out of you in the Alamo Bowl last year physically. And now you got to prove to the country again when you go full circle that you can handle the physicality of the game. You can initiate the contact, not just receive. So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, but I do think that the team is better at damn near every position other than, of course, corner, receiver, and quarterback. Those 3 positions are going to be hard to replace the guys that left for the NFL in the receiver room. I think Travis Hunter was an enigma and pretty special, obviously. And Shador, the quarterbacks are trying their best, but they're not going to just replace that kid. They got to figure out a way to reload. So if they're not going to run the ball consistently with the quarterback and they're not going to adopt that kind of offense, and he's just going to be an extremely average passer and not a really great running threat, then I need Juju on the field immediately. But if they're going to run the ball with Salter 20 times a game and they're going to put 11 on 11, then cool. That's why he's there. That's what the fuck he's there for. So I'm really
right.
Hey, Matt.
I just want the offensive philosophy to match what they're saying at some point.